Greetings, sister. Vanessa,
Greetings.
how are
Blessings
you?
to you.
Yes, Queen. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. One perfect love. I come in one perfect love to the Most High and to the universe.
Oh, give thanks, Sister Venessa McLean. Welcome to Real Vibes Radio. CC Flavor.
Greetings, greetings. Queen, you look so
Greetings, sister.
beautiful. You look beautiful.
Thank
Welcome
you.
once again, and thank you for taking time of your busy time.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, good, good. Nice to have you on. So, Vanessa McLean, please tell us how long you've been in the music business.
Since the age of 10,
10 was,
well, I started off as in the choir at church. So I
oh,
was age 10, yeah.
so was it your parents, your grandparents? Because I know usually when youth are part of the choir, a family member had inspired them to do that. Was there a family member?
Well, I would say I was the culprit. Well, I went. It's traditional in Jamaica to go to church, and they used to send me alone, really. And then I left from one church that was kind of boring and quiet. I went to another church that was more, kind of African in terms of the religion, because our religion, no matter which one you mention in Jamaica, it descends out of the motherland, Africa. So it was more African and more lively. And I said to my parents, I like that one because it's got the. As a kid, I guess I could feel Africa and the vibration at that church. So I said to my mom, I think you need to come to church with me, and then the whole of us had to go. And now it wasn't a, my parents became involved, and I became coincidentally involved with the music in the church.
So you inspired the family.
Yes, because I liked the music at that church and
Oh.
thought it was more like our culture, us Africans in the Caribbean. I thought it was more like that in that church, and I liked it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So that's wonderful that your parents were willing to support you with going to church at that time.
Not my dad though. That's my mom and my stepdad. My dad is not. My dad is a reggae legend. He's another kettle of fish. Into the church thing.
So please, let's tell the audience. Please tell the audience since you mentioned your dad is a
My
reggae legend.
dad is you got Sly and Robbie. There
Yes.
was Sly and Ranchie McLean before Robbie. Now Sly Dunbar on bass and Ranchie McLean on drums changed the reggae to what you have today, to the style of the bass pattern and the style of the drum pattern. Ranchi McLean and Slide and Bar started that, and then he was Channel One, Studio One's resident guitarist, and then he went on to tour with Jimmy Cliff. So Robert a Partner, written by Jimmy Cliff, was co-written with my dad, and it won the Grammy Award. And Mighty Diamonds, Have Mercy and a Good Man, all of those reggae music, those rhythms. If my dad wasn't playing the bass on Your Thing back in the days, Marcia Griffiths, the whole of that lot, Bob Marley, Toots Hibbert. If he wasn't playing any of the bass on your records, then you weren't doing nothing. So he's up there as a top 10 reggae bass guitarist with Earl Chinna Smith, Lloyd Smart Parks. He's from the Revolutionaries. He's from that generation, my dad.
Oh, wow, wonderful. And did you used to coordinate with your dad in certain musical reggae affairs back then?
I'll tell you what it was with my dad. I used to go spend time with my dad, and he used to have me on one lock, the guitar on the other, and he would be, lamenting. One, he would lament about the plight he went through as an artist and how a lot of his credits and royalties were taken by people who came after him and had a similar sounding name. And and my dad was also a giver. So he would always be complaining about that. But on the other hand, he would say to me, I want you children to be involved in music. and he would be playing the guitar, and I would be sitting there, and he would say, "You have to do the music." And I was like, "Oh my God, how am I gonna?" And I remember my dad always going off to China and all those far countries. He spent less time in Jamaica. Um, when he got in with Jimmy Cliff and that, he got spent less time in Jamaica than more. So he's always touring. The little time I had with him, he was always telling me, "Do the music, do the reggae."
So, as a female artist and thinking about the experience that your father been through, do you think your role or your position in music has been different from what your father used to do?
My position would be different, and it's the reason why I saw Alkebulan Empress, and I can't remember which one of us called said hi to each other first,
Right.
but I thought these two sisters with them big locks and playing reggae music was real cool because women have got to stamp their feet in the music industry because my dad is a male and he has had his fight being one of the best. But as a man, it would be easier for them. And as a woman, I came into music very differently from others. So I think some of the shenanigans that really happened to my dad and that happened with some of the other artists, I kind of come with a different background because I came older, because I went off to study. I The church and the reggae got into a quarrel with the choir, and I decided that if I can't sing the reggae, the church didn't want me to sing like my dad, even though it was the music that drew me to them. They wanted me to sing the church, always the church, and not them time. Gospel reggae was, it was not like it is now. It was not accepted really. And me and them kind of fell out, and I said I wouldn't sing another note. I'm not gonna be no musician because they pulled me off the choir because I started singing the reggae behind Beanie Man and this Briscoe Benji and all them people at school. so, I went off and studied.
You studied
And
what? You studied
I,
what?
I read law. I went to read law. So I specialize in legislative drafting. My publications have been in the role of laws and how it affects women's body and tries to constrict us. So I'm a women's rights advocate as well. And coming into law, coming to music with a legal background and having published, I mean, I go to the studio dressed like everyone else because I want the same musical respect. And you just see everybody start whispering around. First they say it's right, and then everybody starts. I'm like, no, what changed around here? I want to be like everyone else. But I think because of my dad, the respect he commands, and my background coming into the music, coming from an educated perspective, I think I am received differently, and I do interpret my culture differently. I do interpret the role of women in music quite differently. And wherever I see women, sorry for saying, but I beg to pay deference to sisters in music and promote their music, promote whatever it is that they're playing or doing.
Yes, Sister Venessa, I remember, like you mentioned, I don't know how we connected, but we connected. And I remember when you created a video of us. Like, I think this was the first time, right, Cece, that someone took the time to do something like that for us, and we were super excited, Sister Venessa, right? And from that time until now, we continue to have respect. We continue to support each other. It's pretty awesome to know that you have a legal background, education background, and also you are coming with a different stance as an empress. You're coming setting a standard that, as I'm listening to you, that yes, the females, they need to represent something more of greatness. And because of your legal and your education background, I can see that, wow, this is just magnificent. So thank you.
Yes, because even with the video, we've got to have our presence and visibility in terms of the media and the social media. Because we had Bob Marley. Bob Marley is the king of reggae. Marcia Griffiths the queen of reggae. Yeah, and they both emanate out of Jamaica. But we all know the male domination. You have the Three Little Birds, they do the backing, and respect to Sister Rita Marley, who has been the strong woman behind a strong king. Because if he never had a wife like her that believed in his talent and decided that she was going to carry on even after he left, then I don't know what kind of man he would be if she never gave him peace to be Bob. Because Bob must have been a character, I can tell you.
Well, as we saw, he was.
So, a handsome character.
Yes.
And the beautiful queen, she was there with him, and she was very empress, very regal. And earlier you put they chase those crazy ballads out of town because Rasta and reggae, and the fact that we have our own identity or hair or beauty or Afrocentricness, and where reggae is from, it's a king and queen thing, because the Most High made the kings and he made the queens, the emperors and the empresses out of the continent and on the globe in different races, tribes, and creeds, and we have to unite in terms of the music.
And
Yeah.
you know what, Sister Venessa, as you were talking, the one word that came to mind is balance. As you were mentioning the king and the queen, I believe in this music business, the representation of balance must be portrayed. But at the same time, I'm going to always advocate for my sisters, because for many, many years, for many decades, our faces were not respected in the music business. Our faces were not evident in the music business. So it's always an honor and it's always a joy when CC Flavor and I are interviewing the empresses. It gives us such a great joy, fulfillment to know that we are collaborating and making sure that our presence are being recognized.
Yes, very, very important, because even in the law, it's the same thing, because when you look at law, it's male dominated, he, in
Correct.
terms of language and so on. So I'm an advocate there as well in terms of
Right.
women's rights. So when I come in the music, I mean, I haven't been burning out anything in terms of bringing women's rights, and it's not dominant. It's just the way I do it in a soft approach, because it's not a war. It's just that we've got to help each other and bring each other through, because there has to be balance. When you're having a festival, you can't have a balls fest. It can't be all a balls fest. It's got to have the eggs and everything coming together, because coming together of those two bring about the generations and the multiplications of the music and whatever is for the generations.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be fruitful. And once again, as we've seen so many times, so many festivals, even with the selectors or the lack of the selectresses and the representation, it is extremely needed throughout the world.
Yep.
Sister Venessa, if there's one thing that you would like to see different, even in this music business, once again, as you spoke about your father, what he did, and with you with having a legal background, what is the one thing that you would like to see different?
I wish the music, and I don't know if it's impossible, would come together more in one love, because the music started off in terms of pain. It was formed by virtue of our music is formed by pain and what we've been through as a people. And that pain, some people hang on to the pain and they want to keep the division going because of the pain and the past. But I want to see the one love. I want to see the harmony in the music. And I also want to see not just male and female, but young and older, because as a younger, I'm a grown woman, but as a younger artist coming in the reggae, I can see when I went into the reggae, as I said, I was received differently because I went to an event and I just, I did a collaboration with a sister from out of South Africa, and I performed on a stage at that time. It was my first time going on a stage in Jamaica.
What year was
And
that? What year was that?
That was about,
I'm taking you back.
that is about, let me say, about 5 years ago. When I said performing on a stage, not on a stage, but in that stadium capacity.
Capacity, yes.
And I saw angry men running towards me, and I was like, "What have I done?" And they goes, "Well, we're your dad's brothers from music, and we didn't know he had a daughter who was doing music. How did you get down to South Africa to start doing music? And we didn't know." and we want to mentor you. So I said, okay, calm down. What's your name? This was Lloyd Parks and Rob Cooper and Fab Five
Oh
and all them
my.
men, them powerful men that I've been hearing about on the
Yes.
radio. And they be like, this is my number, this is my number. There's Aston Hewitt, guitarist, and this one's like, me and your dad, we fix poker machines, and we also did fix machines, and we played guitar together. They had all these stories to tell me, and they're like, we want to men. They just took charge of me because I was doing a song in honor of my mom, when she died, and I thought this was it. I'm gonna do the one song and I'm gonna leave it alone. And my dad's friends from off of Facebook, off of Mixcloud, all over Jamaica and all over the world came forward to start flooding my inboxes and me. You've got to continue. So I got into, working with like Grub Cooper, who has been very instrumental. If you know One Draw by Sister Rita Marley, that was written by Grub Cooper, who was the musical director for the Fabulous Five, who was one of the first bands who started with Bob Marley, but they changed. Bob Marley went with the Wailers and they formed Fab Five, but it was one of the first person to be vocally work and musically working with Bob Marley. So I've had the privilege of him basically saying to me, you come here, I'm gonna take charge of you. None of this one song and leaving, you've got to continue. And they have been refining me and developing me as an artist. And as I said, we have to work as one because he's older and I'm younger in terms of my experience. You could have all the vocal abilities in the world, but if the seniors don't take you under their wings and give you the lessons, it's gonna make you some people can sit around and watch and listen. But I think you have everything to learn in terms of sitting around, being around the elders in the music, and we work as one. So I want to see us coming together and working more together, and even in terms of our promotion, education of each other, helping each other as an industry. I want to see us working together. I don't like the division and the competition because I don't see where we're going as an industry in terms of the reggae music as an indigenous music, that if we're not working together, what is going to become of us? Yeah.
Yeah, give thanks for that journey. I mean, it sounds as though it was an honor for the elders to come to you to help guide you throughout the beginning part of your career. And you were receptive. You received them because
very important. Sister Aishiba, I like the word that you brought up a while ago. It's very, very important that you receive, because some artists be thinking, because voicing with, for example, Rob Cooper, it's not easy. Voicing with Aston Hewitt, it's not easy. They're gonna be there on you. Their whole business is not to click any buttons. Their whole business is to stand there and make sure you produce vocally, sounding in the traditional way. I could give you an example. Like I was voicing the song Crazy Love. And this is me coming out of law school from England. And I'm like, you look into my eyes, and I said, I was singing the song and I goes, I don't like you. That was me coming out with the English accent. And Grub said, excuse me, madam, where are you going with that? Tell the man, say me no like you. And I want the Jamaican attitude. And that was a wake-up call for me that it is cultural. And I had to sit and listen. So I was receptive of whatever it is that they have to give me. So for artists as well, when the elders are guiding you, you gotta be humble and be receptive so that we can have the music sounding. Because we want the reggae to be sounding how it's supposed to sound. Music's not supposed to be hurting our ears.
Never.
It's supposed to be soothing our ears. So any guidance that you can get, you gotta pay attention,
yes,
to the music and the elders.
Yes, you know what? You mentioned Crazy Love.
Man, what you doing to me? Sure, man, take it easy now. You look in my eyes, and it took me by surprise. Then you said to me, what do you like? I said, me no like you, no like you. I love the ocean side, but how was I to know? How was I to know? I would have fallen. You would have fallen. I I didn't see it coming. No way. Me had a question myself. But it's a love, crazy love, different kind of love, crazy love.
Sister Venessa, you know what I would like right now? I would like you to talk about this song more in depth, please. Those who were responsible, who helped you, and so forth and so on, please.
Well, as I said, the Grub Cooper well, I'm responsible for writing the song totally. But the attitude in the song and the aggression in that part of the song, and it's a clash between, you can hear the genres meeting there. I was voiced by Grub Cooper, and I remember I was coming from the office, they had a jacket on, and he says, do you mind taking that jacket off and go in that corner? Because I'm going to put you in that corner vocally. And that was something else. I was like, and he says, you got to smile more, and you got to blush more. And because this song is very different from any other song that I've done in terms of the circumstances leading up to me writing it and voicing it. It just like it was hard to write in terms of the circumstance. It's the same thing with singing it, to get the attitude of the whole situation in it. Because it's like a movie soundtrack if you hear. It's all a movie, all a story.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm going to pull it up so the audience could get the fullness of this.
What you doing to me? Sure, man, take it easy now. You look in my eyes, and it took me by surprise. Then you said to me, what do you like? I said, me no like you, no like you. I love the ocean side, but how was I to know? How was I to know? I would have fallen. You would have fallen. I didn't see it coming. No way. Me had a question myself. But it's a love, crazy love, different kind of love, crazy love, crazy loving. Walk up to the data, romantic. Back me in a corner, post big kiss. Ease up, man, me can't handle this. In me heart, me was up to it. Warp on the corner, not look the data. Wake up from the dream, count 1, 2, 3. Me have to leave that in your bad mind start, yeah. Worries and around. Over the low, oh. Thought I must be dreaming. Then it took me by surprise. The only thing I could ever see was the differences in us. But the things we had in common was more than our differences. It's this kind of loving, it's a crazy kind of loving. Love. It's a different kind of love. Crazy loving, but it's love.
Would you like to give us an a cappella at this time, Sister Venessa?
Yep. Walk up to the data, romantic. Back me in a corner, what's big kiss? Ease up, mommy can't handle this. But in me heart, me was up to it. Warp on the corner, not to look the data. Warp on the corner, not to look the data.
Love it. Give thanks, Sister Venessa.
Worries and around. Over the long, you should have warned me about this different kind of love. Oh, different kind of love.
Yes, Sister Venessa McLean. So tell us, before you prepared to write a song or sing a song, do you have a routine?
Oh, well, as for crazy love, there was absolutely no routine because that I'm not a crazy person and that is a crazy song. I'll tell you something. That song just over overtook me, like the circumstances, because the song is really about a man and a woman from different religious backgrounds, different social classes. The lower social class would say, you coming to take our talented king away from us, and you from that different part. But they didn't realize that no matter what the religion of us, we had, for one, in that circumstance, and speaking about people who have different religious backgrounds, but they have music, their love of music in common, and other things that they thought they looked different. One has a locks for possibly, and one's a bald head, and the two of them, everybody think they still look different because people be talking about the thing on your head, your hair, and that makes you different, like you haven't got one blood. So people connect on different vibrations
True.
apart from, it's not just about religion, it's about crazy love. So because of the tug of war in that song where the upper class, the religious differences, and people, and you know what it is, love is a treasure. And once people find out that you be loving each other, they're gonna find a reason to tear you apart. So it's whenever a treasure gets found out, what happens? There's a war. The pirates come in and they want to steal the love, wreck the whole thing. So in the song, you can hear that the woman said, "Me happy fled the senior, bad mind start ya." So the woman in the song really runs away from the love because she was not prepared to put up with the world war
Right.
that could ensue in the song. So the song is about, it's like a movie, it's a different vibration.
Right, yeah, you did mention that, but your voice and the rhythm, it made me feel sensual. Even though it's a crazy song, as you mentioned, but it's a feeling, touchy song for me when I listened to it when we first got it, and I believe that it could transcend to many other people. And the message is, the message is in the music. We have to make sure, even when we are loving each other, even when we are upset, we still have to remember love is the order. Love is the
It is
mission.
the awesome. And I tell you what, it's good that you say that because I've got another song that is called Soft Love. And as you speak about being sensual, and we speak about women and men and the divide, men in society are taught to be hard, and women are taught to be soft. Now, how does the hard and the soft work? I mean, you can't be hard in love. Where is the place for hard love? Or tough love? There is a place maybe in some circumstance, but if you're gonna have intimate love, and as a man, you want to come to a woman with a hard stance and thinking that the woman's gonna be receptive, or even the man, as strong as the man is, the reason why he comes is because his love is vulnerable. There is a place for the man where he want to be all vulnerable, and the woman as well. But it's a difficult place. And love should make you should be crazily in love with your partner, and you should also be soft.
Yes, and so to all of our kings out there, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show that soft love to your empress and vice versa.
Yes, for the queens as well, the empresses, because a lot of us women who are successful and educated, submission is not by force. So if a woman submits to you by choice, that is submission. If you're forcing her, it's not submission. Submission has to be by choice, and the man should be able to make the woman so soft, no matter what profession she has, no matter what money she has, no matter where she is in society, like me, who's a feminist and a strong woman with strong views, no matter how strong I am, when I see my king, I should be able to just be like butterflies.
Right.
And them softness that we bring in the home will go to the children, a loving home, and will go back into the society because we just in love all over the world.
Right, because the youths are sponges. So if in the home is exempling a certain standard of how the relationship is supposed to be, it's only natural for the youth to mimic those behaviors. And then ultimately, as you mentioned, they go to school. They're going to show love as well. They grow up and they go to work. They're going to show that love. And as you were talking, Sister Venessa, I thought about the one word, respect. Respect.
Oh, yes. Very big on that. Very big. Because disrespect in a relationship, any form of relationship, will make people become hard. It will put people into trauma. And some people, saw a quote once that said trauma, because by virtue of verbal abuse and disrespect, trauma either makes people become rude or it makes them go silent. Because both of those reactions, they've been dumbed down so much by virtue of the disrespect in their relationships, starting at home, most of it, and it just changes a human being, and then that person goes out into society bitter and angry. They infect the kids as well, and then the whole thing is we gotta be soft in love. We can't be in the home saying we're man and woman, and then you gotta be, even if you are giving relationship advice, remember somebody comes to you with a relationship problem. It's not your relationship. You gotta be responsible, if you've been put in that position, to give them godly advice from the Most High, whichever religious books that you could ever read, Rastafari, Christianity, Buddhism, whichever one of those religions you read, if you look in it, like if you read the Songs of Solomon, and when Solomon is talking about, when he was talking to his queen and he was describing her, it's one of the most sensual.
It sure is.
It's got love. Love is the most powerful thing that is in those religious books. But what do? Do we stick to those holy books and stick to that part, or we go into the parts that are in the parts in our interpretation that is hard and toxic? I'm sure the Most High never ever intended that for his beautiful creatures that he created down here.
I agree with you. When you said, I'm sure that the Most High did not intend it that way, I'm a strong believer of love. I'm a strong believer of positivity. Sister Venessa, there were times, I read the Bible 2 times already, from when I was 17, 18, those time frame when I first started citing up Rastafari, and I always had a problem with certain terminology from the Bible. I really did. And I used to change it into a positive spin at that time. And I don't read the Bible now. However, I never forgot some of the passages, but I always still turn it into a positive spin. And when you mentioned about trauma, it's serious. A lot of people don't understand it. And I think as human beings, we are a walking testimony to make sure that we are showing love to people, even in the context of trauma. We have to be sensitive. We have to have empathy. We have to have compassion. So sensitivity, empathy, and compassion, you have that for yourself first, and then that extends to other people. So when you mentioned that, thank you for bringing that up. And the song that you mentioned, I'm going to make sure that your viewers could listen to.
There's so many relationships in this world, but none can compare to me and Mr. Soft Loves. So many twists and turns at this junction. I gotta decide. Soft love, ready love, and the self love. The one I choose is the best. I will travel, spread my bed hard. So shall I lie on it? Soft love, how can I run away? You captivate me when I'm down. You lift me up. Soft love, I never knew what love is until you came along and you brightened up my song. A word from the one saying, love is vulnerable. So I find it hard to handle. That's the trouble. That's the truth and the realities. I'm confused.
Sister Venessa,
Says he loves me, but
Yes.
can we me please hear your beautiful voice on this.
How can I run away? You captivate me when I'm down. You lift me up. Soft love. I never knew what love is until you came along and you brighten up my song when you speak. Your velvet voice soften up my heart. You send thrills to my spine, morning, noon, and night. And I respond to your touch. And now I can't have enough of your love, baby. Soft love. How can I run away? Nobody runs away from, soft and gentleness. You rough me up, I will run.
To me and Mr. Soft Loves. So many twists and turns at this junction. I gotta decide. Soft love, ready love, and a self love.
Soft love.
I choose.
Venessa McLean.
I will travel, spread my bed hard. So shall I lie on it? Soft love, how can I run away? You captivate me when I'm down. You lift me up. Soft love, I never knew what love is until you came along and you brightened up my song. A word from the wise saying, love is vulnerable. So I find it hard to handle. That's the trouble. Plus the truth and the realities. I'm confused. His action says he loves me, but he tries to hide it. Soft love, how can I run away? You captivate me when I'm down.
You captivate me.
Me up.
Soft love.
I never knew what love is until you came along and you brightened up my song. When you speak, your velvet voice soften up my heart. To send thrills to my spine, morning, noon, or night. And I responded to its touch. Now I can't have enough of your love, sweet love, oh baby. Soft love, how can I run away? You captivate me when I'm down. You lift me up. Soft love, I never knew what love is until you came along and you brightened up my song. Soft love.
Soft love. Beautiful. Yeah, Vanessa. Sister Vanessa, give thanks.
Love is vulnerable, so a lot of us don't want to be vulnerable. Then why do you get into a situation that requires vulnerability? You want that pure and beautiful. I think them kind of love is just what we need now. We got to be vulnerable to each other, soft and trusting. No place for bitterness in love. Yeah.
And every human being deserves love.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Sister Vanessa, when you hear the word grounding, what is the first thought that comes to your mind? Or
Grounding.
Grounding or a message?
Grounding is what your philosophy, what you're grounded in, what you're firm on, your morals, your core, what you stand on.
Yes.
That is the word grounding. That's what I think it is.
Yes, yes. And what is your role as an empress in the music business and staying grounded mean?
I want to stay true and I want to stay positive. I want to stay clean. I don't want to get into the filth in terms of the music that's out there. And I mean, I just want to keep it clean and positive. I've described my music as positive, as a inspirational and positive. And even the type of things that I do musically, it's always to help others.
Good.
I mean, behind the scenes, I am grounded in the music.
Good.
It's not all about Venessa McLean and me. The message I send is about healing others.
Good.
And even as an industry, whatever I can do to help other people, I stay grounded to be true, to helping others and to make their lives better in any way that I can in terms of the music. And my music has changed because it started off to the Most High and being religious because my voice was given to me because I remembered like one night I was at church and I was keeping my own church at the back, like jeering everybody who was in the spirit. I was keeping my own church, jeering people around the back. And the pastor said, Sister McLean, will you come and give us a song? And I was, oh Lord, this woman again. What do they want with me? I could, she was so strict that I didn't know what to make of her. She was a female pastor, very, very strong. And she had a mouth, as a pastor, women pastors, how they are. And I went up and opened my mouth to sing and another language came out with other people's business.
Wow.
Something took me over and another voice came out. And the pastor said, this one's for the choir.
Wow.
So that voice was a different voice. I always knew I could sing because I was always singing. Because me, everything is a song for me. If I'm bathing kids, I'm gonna be singing nursery rhymes. If I'm feeding them, I'm gonna be singing. If I'm walking, everything is musical with me. And for example, my family is like that. So I was always musical, but then they put me on the choir. I was recruited to the choir then and you're not gonna say no, but I wanted to stand at the back and sing. I was shy about it. So I'm like, this thing took me over in the church. I didn't understand what that was. I want to stand at the back of the choir and sing. And then one day I was singing and the choir mistress, she goes, whose voice is that? So I knew it was my voice because I got a good harmony voice as well as a strong deep voice, huge range. And I kept quiet. I was like, what does she want? I don't want to be the center of attention. It's why I've kept away from the music so long. I do not like the cameras. I don't want to be the center of attention. I like the music, but I'd rather be at the back singing, And she pretended she wasn't watching and then started singing again. Then she walked around the back and pushed me forward and said, you go forward. You're going to lead this choir. And I'm like, Lord help me. I knew this was going to be trouble because I was now set up in leadership and being watched because I'm missionary's daughter and I'm choir leader. And as a little girl whose daddy was a reggae legend, I would want to be skanking and singing things like Crazy Love from I was like 10, being a little rude girl. So that was the beginning of things to come and the beginning of a lot of trouble for me. And a lot of greatness came out of that because then I was having an outlet for being vocalist, so I was grounded on knowing that the Most High gave me this voice. And if I didn't do right by the voice, that I was going to lose it. And I did lose my voice at one stage because I decided I was only going to sing in the bathroom. I'm not going to go out there on no stage, and I don't want no church people bothering me. I can't sing my father's type of music, so I'm going to stop. But I told the Most High one of the time when I lost my voice that if he gave it back to me, because he did take my voice, like one pastor told me, if you didn't go singing, the Most High said he was going to take your voice. Wow. It was the miserablest thing for me because I've got to be singing. And then I said, Lord, I will go and record a song. I'm going to stop singing in the bathroom. I'm going to sing to the world about love, about life, about religion, about the Most High, I'm going to sing. And God gave me back my voice with a little help from when I lost my voice. I met a Rastafari who took me to a herbalist, and he helped me with some herbs and with the prayers and the prompt pledge to God that I was going to get my voice back. I got my voice back. So it's been, and my voice came back, I think, sweeter. So the earlier voice that songs that I record, they are different vocals from the new set of vocals that the Most High gave me for the second time. He gave me this voice again after the church encounter. He gave it back to me with a warning: don't you mess up with the voice. You got to let the world hear it.
Yes, do not disobey, because when you disobey, I'm going to give you licks, basically.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And I like the journey that you've been on, and there's a mesh between spirituality, there's a mesh between family, there's a mesh between self-discovery and keeping grounded in the music business. And it
You know
sounds
what I say to Sister Ashiba?
Yes.
I say that when you speak about being grounded, I believe any person who has got a music as a gift from the Most High, that your calling is above any religious philosophy, because the Most High sits above all religions, and everyone has to bow to the concept of the Most High. So your ministry or your music, a lot of people follow church, they follow religion, but they don't follow their ministry, as I said, follow the calling of what it is that they're supposed to do. So they get carried away. They are not grounded, as you say, into what it is that the Most High has called them to do. I don't think God called me to a church or a religion. I think He called me to the music fraternity and to music and the motherhood and the nature of music. He called me into the industry for a reason with my vocals and my other abilities. He called me at a strategic point. When my dad died, for example, my dad was one ancestor who never rested, because when I decided I wasn't going to sing, it was during that period. I would get up every morning about 6:30 and hear a new song in my ears. And if I didn't start writing it, I would hear guitar strings. It would not stop playing. And the songs would not stop. And I goes, oh my Father, you're down in the grave with your guitar in my ears. Let me sleep. So I knew what it meant, that it was more than any religion could hold. It was a calling from the Most High.
Yes, and give thanks for sharing that with us. Sometimes people they want to see the reality in front of them. They want to see things that are concrete. They want to touch things, right? But they don't realize that they are of a spiritual being. They are of a spiritual connection. And once they tap inside, once they tap those frequencies, so many things could manifest. So as you were talking, once again, just reminding the world, keep grounded, know that there is a spiritual connection to you. And for those in the music business, as yourself and so many others, even the selectors, the selectresses, the engineers, right? Singers and players of instruments, you do have a purpose, and your purpose is to heal others through music. There isn't anything else. Go on.
So I was saying that harmony, music has to do with notes and harmony. There's got to be harmony when Sister Aishiba and Sister Noelia plays on music. I mean, the persons who get your music out there are part of the messengers in the harmony. The people who play, the engineers, your other fellow artists. It's an industry that has got many parts, different parts, and we all have to work together in one perfect love and one perfect harmony. So whatever you can do as an artist, as a musician, as a professional, to help your fellow brothers and sisters out there, creating networks, creating databases, spreading the word, spreading love, playing music through your sound systems, your radios, your blogs, whatever you can do to create that harmony, so that we work in harmony, because the world it's you know what's going on in the world now, and it's the harmony of music. I remember during the COVID, for example, when we were locked at home and we were suffering from mental depression. A lot of the world was suffering at that time, being locked away. It was a disc jockey that came online and started playing the music, and we would all join the lives. Everything had to sit down, and we knew that then the importance of the people who were playing music. you have somebody like Mataron. I guess he's not my favorite in terms of, he's a dancehall thing, dancehall DJ. But I remember when you look at Mataron's live and the amount of thousands of people you'd see, because people was just going off their mind in COVID. But the disc jockeys were out there playing the music to keep us entertained and happy. So it's one perfect harmony at different and difficult times in life.
Yes, it is. If you had a message, thank you for that, Sister Venessa. If you had a message to share, not if, but I would like you to share a message with the youth at this time.
Keep positive. Keep positive. Set your eyes on your goal. Let no one. Sister Whitney Houston has died, but one thing that she said, I don't want to be in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. And the greatest love of all is loving yourself enough not to abuse your body, to keep positive. No matter what is coming at you in life, keep rising high. Because if you look at an eagle, for example, the crow picks at the eagle's neck. Try to bring the eagle down. So they're going to be at your neck. But what does the eagle do? He rises to the top. He moves above. And so the crow can't stand the height and he falls off. So whatever negative people is putting around you, rise and keep rising. And eventually they will have to leave you alone.
No, beautiful.
So that's what I would say to the youth.
Yes, beautiful message for the youth. I was thinking about perseverance, We are all faced with difficult situations at times, and sometimes it could be overbearing. But because we are blessed to wake up in the morning, our eyes are open and we're giving thanks, we have another opportunity to move forward, to persevere in life, and just continue to do what we need to do.
Life goes on. Life goes on. No matter what happens, life goes on.
No matter what happens, life goes
We
on.
fell asleep in this world, woke up in another. The sun has gone away, your darkness everywhere. The river stopped flowing, the lion stopped roaring. But oh sweet world, we will rise again. Life goes on and on and on. Let the rhythm start to play. Life goes on and on and on. Another baby born today. Life goes on. Mother Nature on display. Life goes on. So don't you give up hope. Diseases are spreading, famine on the land. Earth's equilibrium spells doom. No spring blooms, nor autumn leaves to bloom. Believe me, we gonna make it through the night. I'm singing. Life goes on and on and on. Let the rhythm start to play. Life goes on and on and on. Another baby born today.
Yes, so Sister Venessa, I just want to say, hail up to Jamaica, St. Croix, USVI, St. Thomas, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, USA, Finland, Germany, Belgium, Hungary, UK, Mama, Africa, Alkebulan, Nigeria, Kenya, all logged on to Real Vibes Radio, listening to our beloved sister, Venessa McLean.
Before dawn, life goes on.
Sister, can you please tell us about this track?
This track was my response to all the shenanigans that took place that just went. I'm still thinking in a modern day and time, you mean a whole load of flu could be put on earth? That's my interpretation of it. A whole load of flu could have been put on the earth at one time, and we all believed the nonsense, and somebody was trying something to hijack life, because if you put an overdose of any form of bacteria or virus at once, and people's got different conditions, then it's gonna look like it's something else. But it was really designed to do what it did, and we were all fooled. And then we all started dividing. We all started dividing ourselves up in terms of countries, and your country wasn't gonna come to my country, and my country, and we fell for the division that the system was sent. I shot the sheriff. Oh, why didn't shot that deputy? But Marley was talking about the system. Yeah? So that's why I said Tita-to, eeny, miny, more. Because eeny, meeny, miny, more. Checkmate! The darkest hour is just before dawn. Life goes on. So what happened is that we as human beings just, and Mother Nature just said, checkmate! What's going on? We're gonna start boiling up something, steaming our faces, doing what we're supposed to do. And Mother Nature shows that life goes on. And this song speaks to a positive way of any negative circumstance that you're in. It's a title track of my upcoming album, Love, Life, and Reggae. It's a positive message no matter what you're going through. Life goes on. Just shrug it off and say, sure, life goes on. Let the rhythm start to play.
Woke up in another.
Lioness roar, lioness roar, Alkebulan Empress roar, lioness roar, Alkebulan Empress sounds to the world. Big up all the fans that tuned in at this moment. Sister Aishiba and Sister Noelia roar, lioness roar.
Yes, yes, yes. Give thanks, Sister Venessa. I would like you to give a message to the world at this time as we are wrapping up the interview. We want to say we are grateful for you blessing us with the interview, sharing time and space, and just educating and giving us knowledge of your history and about life, especially life goes on. So tell us, give us a message for the world.
I would say breathe. Continue to breathe. Roar. Enjoy oxygen. Live. Don't die. Don't walk around dead. You got one life. Live and breathe. Don't let nobody hijack your situation through situations in life. Breathe. Right? Rise up and march the drums. Listen to the guitars. Enjoy the rivers. Enjoy the world, because tomorrow is promised to no one. Life goes on.
Life goes on. CC Flavor, come and heal up Sister Venessa.
Sister CC Flavor, big up yourself. Thank you for giving me the platform. You and Sister Aishiba, I'm grateful to you. I remember the first time I see both of you, I goes, oh my God, look at how big their locks is, how pretty they were looking. These girls have got to be out there as women. And I'm so grateful for this interview, and I am happy. The day I saw both of you, I knew you were special. You were special. Because
thank you.
Most I made both of you special. Sister Noelia, Sister Aishiba goes, these two are different, they're special. And I give thanks for what it is that you're doing through the Alkebulan Empress sound. Continue to roar.
Thank you. And also for you, for always uplifting Alkebulan Empress sound, is love always. So, like I always say, it's always good to know they have another sister uplifting each other's crown. That's my main goal there, to see women come together and uplift one another crown. So give thanks. Continue blessing us with those beautiful wisdom, those words, those music, so we can continue blessing the whole world with your music, man. So give thanks. The honor and enough respect from woman to woman.
Woman to woman, respect. Big up all of the brother them, big up all the kings them, big up all the emperors, woman to woman, man to man. How we do things as unit together, women to men, kings and queens. Big up everybody watching here, children of the world, everybody, all the fans from all over the globe. One perfect Alkebulan Empress sound. Love to you all.
Love, respect, and honor all the time, especially our Mixcloud family, our Facebook family, and the website, Instagram, TikTok. You know, we always say if it wasn't for them, especially our very own queen, Penny Vibes, you know, Ras Randy, you know, Reganeer, give thanks.
Big up Penny Vibes.
Yes,
Big up Penny
yes,
Vibes.
yes,
Big
yes.
up Sister Penny Vibes every time for creating the platform.
Right.
Big up Sister Penny Vibes and the Real Vibes radio crew and all the disc jockeys under this platform for bringing the message to the world. I want to take this opportunity to give special thanks to Sister Penny and all disc jockeys in your station. Big up yourself. One perfect love.
Yes, and for the Most High, man, for allowing us to share time and space and come together to do what we do each and every day. You know, without Him, this can never be possible. So to the Most High, we give thanks and praises all the time. So you don't know, it's love. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye.
And Sister Venessa, I just want to tell you, Penny Vibe, she says, we continue to uplift man and woman and children. One perfect love.
One perfect love. Balance the family. Balance, balance, balance. One perfect love.
Yes. Yes. So have a pleasant night to you and your family and give thanks again. It was lovely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're
Blessings.
welcome. Bless.
We fell asleep in this world, woke up in another. The sun has gone away, your darkness everywhere. The river stopped flowing, the lion stopped roaring. But oh sweet world, we will rise again. Life goes on and on and on. Let the rhythm start to play. Life goes on and on and on. Another baby born today. Life goes on. Mother Nature on display. Life goes on. So don't you give up hope. Diseases are spread.